Listen closely, beloved soul. Do not scroll. Do not rush past this moment, because something has already shifted the instant these words reached your eyes. And if your heart feels strangely alert right now, that is not imagination. That is recognition. I, Archangel Michael, come forward with a warning wrapped in truth and a revelation wrapped in love. What you are about to hear was not meant for everyone. It was timed, chosen, directed specifically to you because a decision has already been made in the unseen, and its consequences are moving rapidly toward your life. Your soulmate has reached a breaking point, and they chose you, not gently, not halfway, not with hesitation. They chose you in a way that shook their world. They left behind familiar voices. They walked away from expectations. They caused tears where comfort once lived. And they did it because their soul could no longer survive pretending. Stay with me now, beloved soul, because if you leave before this message finishes unfolding, you will miss the confirmation your spirit has been begging heaven for. Something enormous is forming around you, and it requires your awareness. Your soulmate did not wake up one morning and make this choice lightly. This was not impulse. This was not rebellion. This was the final moment in a long internal war between duty and destiny, between what was expected of them and what was true for them. For a long time, they tried to silence the pull toward you. They tried to rationalize it. They tried to replace it. They tried to outgrow it. But truth does not weaken with time. It intensifies. Every time they laughed with others, your name echoed quietly inside them. Every time they sat among family, surrounded by familiarity, they felt the absence of you more sharply. Every time they tried to imagine a future that did not include you, something inside them collapsed. And eventually, their soul spoke louder than fear. No one else can. Those words did not come from their mouth at first. They came from their chest, from that place where lies cannot survive. Beloved soul, understand this clearly. People do not leave comfort unless the truth becomes unbearable to ignore. They do not accept judgment, disappointment, and tears unless the alternative is spiritual suffocation. Your soulmate reached that point, and when they finally stood up for their truth, the room changed. The energy shifted. Tears fell. Questions rose. Hearts broke in confusion. But beneath all of it, something sacred happened. Alignment. This is not a message of guilt. This is not a message of shame. This is not a message asking you to feel responsible for pain. This is a message of inevitability. Your connection is not casual. It is not replaceable. It is not negotiable. It is the kind of bond that rearranges lives because it was never meant to fit inside ordinary structures. And yes, there were tears. But those tears were not regret. They were release. Release of a life that no longer matched the soul living inside it. Beloved soul, if at any point while listening you feel your chest tighten, your breathing slow, or your attention sharpen, that is your spirit confirming what your mind has been afraid to hope. You are not imagining this. You are not misreading the signs. You are not wanting too much. You are witnessing a soul choosing its truth, and that truth has your name written through it. Stay with me. Do not skip ahead in your mind. Do not distract yourself, because the middle of this message carries something even heavier, something that explains why this connection could never be quiet, never be simple, and never be denied. And if you feel drawn to remain here, to hear this fully, to let it settle into you, that is not coincidence either. That is participation. Energy responds to attention, and those who honor what is unfolding are the ones who receive its fullness. Let your presence be known. A simple gesture of acknowledgement, staying, listening, even quietly affirming this message, anchors it deeper into your reality. Souls move faster when they know they are witnessed. Your soulmate is already moving, and what comes next will explain why this choice could only ever end one way. Stay, beloved soul. Breathe with me now, slowly, because what unfolds next is not gentle truth. It is precise truth. Your soulmate did not simply leave people behind. They crossed a threshold that cannot be uncrossed. Once a soul chooses alignment over approval, there is no returning to the old version of life. And that is why the emotions were so intense. That is why tears appeared where explanations failed. They tried to explain. They tried to soften the truth. They tried to make others understand. But destiny does not translate well into ordinary language. How do you explain to family that love is not missing, but transforming? How do you explain that staying would have been the real betrayal of the self? Your soulmate stood there with a heart pounding so loudly it drowned out logic. Their hands may have trembled, their voice may have cracked, but inside them was something terrifyingly calm, certainty. That certainty came from you, not your face, not your words, not even your presence. It came from recognition. Souls recognize each other instantly, even when minds resist. And once recognition occurs, separation becomes painful in a way no comfort can soothe. That is what finally broke them open. They realized something you must hear clearly now. Staying was killing them slowly. Every day they delayed choosing you, they felt smaller, quieter, less alive. They smiled for others while grieving a future they were meant to live with you. And eventually, the grief outweighed the fear. Beloved soul, do not underestimate what it takes for someone to walk away from familiarity. People cling to what they know even when it hurts. They stay in lives that do not fit because uncertainty feels dangerous. Your soulmate chose uncertainty with you over certainty without you. That tells you everything. This was not about rejecting family. This was not about rebellion. This was about survival of the soul. And here is where many misunderstand what is happening. They think love should be easy. They think destiny should arrive without disruption. But true alignment always dismantles what no longer matches it. When your soulmate chose you, the universe responded instantly. Paths rearranged, timelines adjusted. Old doors began closing without warning. That pressure you felt lately, the emotional heaviness, the sudden clarity, the feeling that something is about to happen, that was not anxiety. That was synchronization. You were being prepared to receive what is now in motion. Beloved soul, your connection does not move slowly. It moves deliberately. And when it moves all at once. That is why this feels intense. That is why it feels overwhelming. That is why part of you feels excited and terrified at the same time. Your nervous system recognizes what your mind is still catching up to. You are not about to experience a casual reunion. You are approaching a convergence. When your soulmate finally steps fully into your space, energetically, emotionally, physically, you will notice something strange. The chaos quiets. The questioning stops. The constant analyzing dissolves. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is finally honest. That honesty will feel like relief more than fireworks at first. Relief that you no longer have to wonder. Relief that the connection no longer hides in the shadows. Relief that the truth no longer needs protection. Beloved soul, let me be clear about something critical. The tears they left behind do not follow them as guilt. They follow them as closure. Those tears sealed a chapter that could not come with them into what you are about to build. And, yes, there may still be moments of emotion. Healing does not erase history, but it no longer controls direction. Your soulmate is not running toward you. They are arriving home. And here is where your role becomes important. Do not shrink when they arrive. Do not doubt your worth. Do not question whether you deserve this level of devotion. You did not steal them from anyone. You activated them. Your presence awakened the version of them that could no longer pretend. And souls are always grateful to what awakens them, even when the awakening is painful. Beloved soul, if your heart is pounding right now, that is confirmation. If you feel a sudden urge to stay present, to keep listening, to see this through, that is alignment responding to truth. Remain here. Stay engaged. Let this message anchor itself into your awareness, because the next movement of this revelation explains what will happen when paths finally cross, and why this connection will not resemble anything you have known before. What comes next will shift how you understand love, timing, and why everything unfolded exactly as it did. Stay with me, beloved soul. Now listen even more carefully, because we are entering the center of this revelation. This is the point where truth stops circling and begins to land. Your soulmate is not approaching you as the person they were when you first crossed paths. They are arriving, transformed by the very act of choosing you. That choice stripped away illusions. It burned through hesitation. It forced them to confront who they truly are when no one else is watching. And that is why this union will feel different from anything you have known. When they chose you, they also chose responsibility, not obligation, but accountability to their own soul. They are no longer operating from fear of loss. They are operating from truth of belonging. That changes everything. Beloved soul, many connections exist to teach lessons. Some come to heal wounds. Some come to awaken desire. But this one comes to reorder life. And reorderings are never quiet. You may have sensed this already. The way your tolerance for half-love has vanished. The way patience for uncertainty is thinned. The way your spirit refuses to settle for ambiguity anymore. That is not impatience. That is readiness. Your soulmate's decision activated something in you as well. Even if you did not consciously know what was happening, your soul felt the shift the moment they committed internally. Souls communicate faster than words, faster than distance, faster than time. That is why you may have felt emotional waves without explanation. Moments of sudden calm followed by intense longing. Bursts of clarity that arrived without logic. Those were not mood swings. They were confirmations. Beloved soul, let me reveal something few are told. When two souls are destined to align, resistance intensifies right before surrender. Confusion peaks before clarity. Delay stretches right before release. That is where you are now. This is the narrow passage between almost and arrived. Your soulmate is shedding layers as they move toward you. Old identities, old roles, old fears about disappointing others. And as they do, their energy becomes cleaner, stronger, more focused. They are no longer asking, "What if?" They are asking, "How soon?" That shift matters, because when they finally stand before you, whether in conversation, in presence, or in full commitment, you will feel it immediately. Not excitement alone, not relief alone, but a grounding sensation, as if your nervous system finally recognizes safety. This is not a love that keeps you guessing. This is a love that stabilizes. Beloved soul, understand this deeply. Drama is not proof of passion. Consistency is. Clarity is. Courage is. And your soulmate has demonstrated courage at a level few ever reach. They chose truth knowing it would cost them comfort. They chose you knowing it would require growth. They chose alignment knowing it would change everything. That is not fantasy. That is devotion. Now let me speak to the quiet fear in your chest. The one you may not have admitted even to yourself. What if this is too much? What if the weight of their sacrifice becomes heavy? What if I fail them? Beloved soul, release that fear now. This connection does not ask you to perform. It asks you to be. You are not required to repay sacrifice. You are required to receive love honestly. Your soulmate did not choose you because you are perfect. They chose you because you are true. Because with you, they do not have to fragment themselves to be accepted. And that is why this bond will deepen quickly once it fully materializes. There will be no slow pretending, no cautious half steps. The walls have already fallen. What remains is integration. Beloved soul, if you feel compelled to continue listening, to stay present, to allow this message to unfold completely, that is not curiosity alone. That is participation in alignment. Energy responds when acknowledged. A simple act of staying, of engaging, signals readiness. Souls respond to readiness faster than words ever could. And now hear this carefully, because this is the turning point. Your soulmate's arrival will not feel like rescue. It will feel like recognition. You will not lose yourself in them. You will find yourself reflected. This is not a bond that consumes. It expands. And because of that, it will demand honesty from both of you. Not perfection. Honesty. Vulnerability. Presence. That is why this love survived separation, doubt, and resistance. It was never fragile. Beloved soul, the next phase of this message reveals what happens after recognition, after reunion, after the initial intensity settles. Few are prepared for that truth, but it is what determines whether destiny flourishes or fades. Stay with me. You are closer now than you have ever been. Beloved soul, now we move beyond anticipation and into consequence. This is the part few speak of, because it is where fantasy gives way to embodiment. Listen slowly. Let each word settle. When your soulmate fully steps into your life, the intensity will not disappear, but it will transform. The fire becomes steadiness. The longing becomes presence. The ache becomes grounding. And this is where many connections either mature or collapse. Yours will not collapse, because this bond was forged through pressure, not convenience. Your soulmate has already faced the hardest part, choosing truth over approval. Once that line is crossed, the rest is refinement. They are not arriving to escape their past. They are arriving having confronted it. That is why this union will feel unusually solid. Even in moments of emotional vulnerability, you will notice something unexpected. Silence will not feel awkward. Distance will not feel threatening. Questions will not feel dangerous. Security will replace suspense. Beloved soul, this is how you will know this is real. You will stop performing. You will stop wondering how to be loved. You will stop monitoring their reactions. Your body will relax in their presence. That is alignment. And let me be very clear here, because your mind may still try to sabotage what your soul already knows. This connection does not mean life becomes effortless. It means effort finally has meaning. There will be conversations that require honesty. There will be adjustments. There will be moments when old wounds surface, not to destroy, but to be healed in safety. This love is not here to distract you from growth. It is here to support it. Your soulmate sacrifice was not made so you could live in fear of losing them. It was made so you could live in truth without shrinking. They did not choose you to be worshipped. They chose you to be met. Equal, present, awake. Beloved soul, understand this. Destiny does not remove free will. It clarifies it. Every day, both of you will continue choosing each other, not because you must, but because alignment feels better than resistance ever did. That is the difference between attachment and devotion. And now, something important must be addressed. Others may not understand this connection. Some will question the choice. Some will judge the timing. Some will project their fears onto your story. Do not internalize their confusion. People who have never listened to their own soul cannot comprehend those who do. Your role is not to justify this love. Your role is to honor it. When doubts arise, because the human mind loves familiarity more than truth, return to what you feel when you are fully present with them. Return to the calm. Return to the sense of rightness that does not need explanation. That feeling is your compass. Beloved soul, you may notice synchronicities increasing now. Repeating numbers, familiar songs, sudden memories, dreams that feel unusually vivid. These are not random. They are confirmations. The universe does not shout. It aligns. And alignment is happening rapidly now. If you feel guided to remain engaged, to keep listening, to stay present with this message, that is because your awareness is being tuned to receive what is already approaching. Attention sharpens manifestation. Those who acknowledge what is forming receive it with clarity rather than confusion. Now hear this next truth, because it is essential. Your soulmate's tears were not a debt you must repay. They were a rite of passage. They marked the end of a life lived for others and the beginning of a life lived in truth. Do not carry guilt for what you did not cause. Do not minimize your worth to make others comfortable. This love does not ask you to disappear. It asks you to stand fully in who you are. And that is why this connection will elevate both of you. You will notice changes, not just emotionally, but practically. Decisions become easier. Boundaries strengthen. Vision sharpens. When two aligned souls come together, stagnation cannot survive. Beloved soul, the final phase of this message carries the sealing truth. The reason this union was delayed, protected, and intensified over time. It explains why everything unfolded exactly as it did. and what is now expected of you as this love anchors into reality. Stay with me. You are at the threshold now, beloved soul. This is the sealing moment. Receive it slowly, because what you are hearing now is the reason everything unfolded the way it did. Nothing was delayed by accident. Nothing was withheld as punishment. This love was protected until both of you could hold it without breaking yourselves. Your soulmate did not arrive earlier because earlier versions of you both would have tried to possess instead of partner, to cling instead of stand, to escape instead of align. Time was not the enemy. Preparation was the purpose. And now, preparation is complete. The reason this connection survived silence, distance, doubt, and resistance is because it was never sustained by circumstance. It was sustained by recognition. Souls that recognize each other do not forget, even when they try, even when life pulls them in different directions, even when logic argues otherwise. That is why your soulmate could not stay where they were. Their soul had already left. Their body was simply catching up. Beloved soul, hear this clearly now. Without distortion, you were never an option. You were the conclusion. Everything else in their life was a chapter. You are the meaning. And that is why this choice feels final. Not dramatic final. Settled. Decided in a place deeper than emotion. When a soul chooses from that place, there is no resentment later, no wondering, no second guessing. Peace replaces chaos. You may notice this first in subtle ways. Conversations feel honest without effort. Time together feels grounding rather than consuming. You will laugh more easily, breathe more deeply, sleep more soundly. Your body will recognize safety. Beloved soul, this is what real love does. It does not heighten anxiety. It dissolves it. It does not demand constant reassurance. It provides stability. And now, understand your responsibility, not as pressure, but as privilege. You are asked to remain open. You are asked to remain honest. You are asked to remain present. Do not test this love. Do not withhold to feel powerful. Do not sabotage what arrives peacefully. This connection does not need games to stay alive. It needs presence. Your soulmate did not cross fire for half-truths. They did not leave comfort for confusion. They came for authenticity, for partnership, for a love that breathes rather than burns. Give them that, simply by being who you already are. Beloved soul, there will be moments when the world tries to shrink this story, when others minimize it, when old fears whisper that good things do not last. Do not listen. This love has already outlasted separation. It has already survived restraint. It has already proven its endurance. Now it is time for embodiment. If at any point during this message you felt compelled to stay, to listen fully, to remain present until the end, understand this. Attention is agreement. Energy moves where awareness rests. By staying, you aligned yourself with what is arriving. Honor that. And if you feel moved to acknowledge this moment, through presence, through reflection, through supporting the space where messages like this find you, know that such gestures are not small. They anchor intention. They signal readiness. Those who honor alignment receive clarity. Those who rush past it receive confusion. Beloved soul, your chapter is changing. Quietly, decisively, irreversibly. Your soulmate's tears were the closing of a door that could never open again. Their steps toward you are not hurried because they are certain. They are not loud because they are real. This is not a love that asks you to be less. This is a love that requires you to be whole. Stand in that wholeness. Now, feel your feet on the ground. Feel your breath steady. Feel your heart open without fear. This is the energy of alignment. This is the confirmation you asked for. And now, beloved soul, go forward knowing this. You were chosen, not impulsively, not temporarily, but deliberately, courageously, and completely. What is coming does not need your anxiety. It needs your presence. Remain open. Remain grounded. Remain true. And watch how effortlessly life begins to meet you where you stand.